All right. Welcome back. Episode 201 of Chaotically Intolerant. We have another baseball filled episode for you today. But before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's go. All right, Mike. So, last time we were here, the Boston Red Sox were trying to think about the last time you were on the show. 2 weeks ago, correct?
Yep. Sounds
So,
right.
the season had not started yet. And then last week, the Red Sox were bad. Now they're a little better. It's crazy how things can change in 2 weeks, right? Or in a week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody in the AL East right now is showing any kind of conviction. I mean, the Yankees are 7-5, the Jays are 7-5, which is a little surprising, and of course, my Orioles are bringing up the rear at the moment, 5-8. I mean, the thing is with the Yankees, it's the same story as last year where they had the plus, big run differential, they're plus 23. I mean, the Red Sox, they had a big weekend against St. Louis, and now they've kind of gone cold as the weather got colder against the Jays. Hard to pinpoint what they're doing.
Yeah,
right
it's cold right now. I just saw a stat on Nesson saying there's been like 36 errors committed this week, something like that. Its fielding has not been good. It was 20% of all errors coming this week or something like that. I don't know. There was a kind of a weird stat. I thought it was a little odd to put up there, but. Let's just go through. Let's talk a little ball. But I do want to. We do. I guess not really talk about it, but we do want to mention Octavio Dotel, and I do not have the other name of the gentleman.
Tony Blanco, and then also the sister of Nelson Cruz. Yeah, absolutely.
And Pedro Martinez also mentioned he does have some missing family members as well, which is very, very unfortunate situation. Very sad, and I'm hoping for the best for everyone in that situation right now.
Yeah, not much to say. Just a real loss. I mean, Dotel especially, journeyman, won a ring with the Cardinals in 05, and I'm sorry, in 11. So yeah.
I'll just get into it. Who's your team of the week?
Well, I was going to say we're not going to touch on that game Monday night, the Florida. That was wild, by the way.
Listen, I'm a Gator fan, but hey, you want to talk about it? Let's talk a little bit about.
Oh, you just spend 2 minutes on it. I thought it was tragic that Houston didn't get their shot off at the end. I mean, but credit to Florida's defense, and they just came back all tournament. Kind of reminded me of Virginia in 2019, redemption, losing as a 1 to a 16. Not Florida didn't have that exact same thing, but they lost in the first round last year, and it was a good game. It's what we deserve for a championship game, I think.
Yeah, it was a rock fight. I think that's probably the best definition of it. I mean, Florida was shooting horrible, especially in the first half, and they just kind of kept it close. And that's what Florida has done. It felt like all tournament where, comeback wins. They don't look their best, but they just find a way to win. I think they held the lead for like 73 seconds in total for the entire game, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
They held it like early for like a couple. It was like 2 possessions maybe. They held the lead early, and then they held it late when it mattered. And, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And I mean, look, you get the 4-1 seeds. There was a lot of chalk, but we saw some good games in the Final Four, didn't we? And we really all
Definitely.
3 games were pretty good and involved comebacks. Houston had a great comeback against Duke. I think Duke would have beat Florida. It's the irony of it.
Yeah. But hey, it's who's in front of you, right? Yeah. That's all that matters. Go Gators, baby. All right. Well, who's your team of the week for this second week of baseball?
I would say I've been impressed. I mean, in both leagues, obviously the Padres are off to a great start. They've continued it, 10-3. Them and the Dodgers have 10 wins, and the Giants are off to a great start. I've been impressed with the Tigers, though. After starting 0-3, they've won 7-9. They almost pulled a big comeback against the Yankees today. I feel like they're the best team in that division. If they stay healthy and, they can kind of carry that magic over that they had last year, I think they're the team that would win the Central. So they're playing really well. And I'm also impressed with the Cubs. Same thing. Both those teams got swept early by the Dodgers, and the Cubs kind of got off to a start. And look at the run differentials in the Central. They're plus 28. The Reds are plus 2, and every other team is minus. So the Cubs have scored. Now, granted, they've played quite a few more games than the rest of the division. They've played 15 games, but they've scored 96 runs. they're averaging over 6.4 runs a game or whatever. I mean, I've seen their offense wake up quite a bit, especially in this past week. So those two teams, two central leaders.
Yeah, I think the Cubs would be mine too. I mean, they took series from two division leaders, from the Padres and the Rangers. And, the Padres came out, they started hot, and we thought they were not unstoppable, but we thought they were a pretty damn good team. And so here come the Cubs. The first time we saw the Cubs, they were 0-2 against the Dodgers in Tokyo. And it gives you a bad taste in your mouth of what that team is, but they've showed up, and if this is the Cubs team that we're going to see the rest of the year, I mean, who's to say? Who's to say we don't see another Cubby World Series at some point?
Yeah, I mean, they've been close the last couple of years, and it could have been them instead of Arizona in 2023. A Seiya Suzuki drop fly ball may have been the difference in them getting the postseason.
Yeah, and then who's your player of the week?
I want to give it to, just because he's been a great talent for a long time, and he's got a big contract that he hasn't lived up to, but he's a hell of a player, and I think by all accounts a good guy. I'm going with George Springer.
Springer.
Pull up his numbers, what he's done, and what he's done to the Red Sox last couple nights. He's 17 for 37 on the season. He's hitting .459 with 2 homers. He's been on a tear. He's he's 6 for 8 in this series against the Red Sox. And I mean, if the Jays, they gave him 6 years, 100, and I don't even know. I think it was a pretty big 6-year deal. And he really hasn't been that guy. He hasn't been the guy that he was with the Astros. He played every single game in 2016, and the last few years, he's played in a lot of games, but his first, 21, he only played in 78 games. He's had some injuries. He just hasn't put up the numbers. He batted .220 last year, .220. And his batting average as a Blue Jay is .255. So I think he would be my player of the week. He's on fire right now, and that's why the Jays are tied for first. Sounds crazy. I mean, they're only 7-5, but they are tied for first in the AL East.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with a player that's playing in this game, Wilyer Abreu. Is he maybe he's one of the best players in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty fair to say. I think there's legitimate, obviously it's 2 weeks of baseball, so we can calm it down, but there were MVP chants at Fenway on Sunday night during Sunday Night Baseball, and those are legitimate. I think you can make a legitimate case right now for the first 2 weeks of the season. Wilyer Abreu is the MVP. He had the laser, to gun him down. And, some people are talking about how it's not that good of a throw because it was kind of from short right field, but I don't really care. It was pretty, it's always cool to watch someone just gun someone down from the outfield, gunning them down at third base. And it's not even how fast the throw was. It was 91 miles an hour. It's where the ball ended up. It's where he threw it. It was a perfect position for the third baseman to make the tag, for Alex Bregman to make the tag. So that's a part of why it was so awesome. Sunday, the first game of the doubleheader, Abreu had a walk-off double. He has been one of the best players in baseball, and I am so glad that Craig Breslow decided to keep him because the start of his season was not very good. Spring training, he was dealing with a sickness, and he dropped about 15 pounds. Normally, when players come into a season 15 pounds later because of a sickness, they're going to struggle. They're going to have issues. He's already been talking about kind of having heavy legs where he's just tired. He's definitely not used to being this light, and some guys that's a good thing, but other guys, especially, he wasn't a heavy dude whatsoever. He was definitely a little more chunky, but losing 15 pounds, that's a big difference to lose like that. So but it's working for him. Whatever it is, it's working for him. His last 7 games, he's 7 for 21, so right 333, whatever. 5 runs, a homer, 6 ribbies, and 391 on base percentage. He has a 1400 OPS right now, or 1200. I'm sorry, 1200 OPS leading baseball. So Wilyer Abreu, clap it up. This is we got a star in the making here. This could be. I mean, this could be one of those out of nowhere stars that we could see for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, Bregman's hitting well. He's starting to come around, and they're scoring runs. They're scoring runs.
And Rafael Devers is like he's finding his footing. He tore apart St. Louis. We finally saw a home run from him. And I just want to hear all of it. I want to hear about how we needed to lose weight. Because we did the same thing with David Ortiz every year where he would come into spring training and every fan would say, and even the media would say, oh, he's too fat right now. He needs to lose weight. This is unacceptable. Why are we paying this guy? Trade him. And have you ever watched David Ortiz? He doesn't exactly need to be thin. Right. We're not worried about him being fat or thin. I could care less about that. Care about if he can hit. And after your first week, Devers figured it out and he's hitting like he normally does. Oh, Devers just poked one. I'm watching the game right now. So yeah. Anything on that, or did I cover it pretty well?
No, you covered it. Yeah.
All right. And then what about our bum ass team of the week? Who just really sucked in your eyes this week?
Well, I'd love to just rip on the Orioles because it's easy, and they've been disappointing me. And I'm not going to sit here and say the Rockies at 2-8 because that's exactly what we expected the Rockies to do, and I'm not going to say the White Sox at 2-8. I'm not even going to say the Twins at 3-8 because they started like 0-5, and we already kind of made the Braves our bum ass team of the week before. So I am going to say the Orioles, as I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. 5-8, have not had back-to-back wins yet, have not taken a series yet. They just put Zach Eflin on the IL, and that means that one of their two actually reliable starters at this point is down, and now that means that three top-flight starters are down. Grayson Rodriguez, Kyle Bradish, who knows when those guys will be back, and then Eflin. Starting pitching is a mess right now. And they got shut out today, lost last night. It's been frustrating. It's been very frustrating because it feels like they have this window right now, and they did all this rebuilding. They won 101 games 2 years ago, and then they were in the postseason last year. And it's very early, I understand, but given that they knew that they had, injury-prone pitchers and they didn't have a lot of depth there, yeah, I still would have liked to have seen them do more than just get Sugano, who's been good. I mean, they took a flyer on an older guy who's never pitched in the majors, and Charlie Morton, who is an older guy who shouldn't be pitching in the majors at this point. They've got a closer that's coming back from Tommy John. They don't have a ton of reliable middle relief. I know a lot of teams could say that. They're doing a little bit better of a job not relying on the home run to score runs, but their offense can't overcome the starting pitching right now. And I don't know. I don't know where the reinforcements going to be. How are they going to kind of survive playing in this division? So very disappointing, especially this past week.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Minnesota Twins right now. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Yeah. And this has just been, I think they picked to run away with the Central? I don't know if they were, to run away, but I think they were the favorites, and we expected a lot more out of this team. Oh my God! Oh, Bregman just ripped one down the left field line, but it was foul. This Minnesota Twins team is just kind of uninspiring and not really exciting. They're leading the leader in batting average is batting .294 right now. This early in the year, you would hope you would get at least one guy. Right. One guy that just is maybe hitting his stride early and starting hot and, hitting 350, 400 in these first 2 weeks. And we just haven't gotten any of that. No offense from them. Like Byron Buxton sitting at 171, Carlos Correa sitting at 150 right now. Is that Ty France? Ty France. Sorry. 205. These are uninspiring numbers. And these are supposed to be the leaders of your team, right? Especially on your offense, and they just can't get anything going. So I'm going with the Twins here. And then bum ass player of the week, who really just stunk individually, who had a bad week, and maybe they can pick it up next week.
Well, I'm looking at Yainer Diaz, the Astros. He's 2 for 33 on the season. That's a 0.61 average if you're doing math at home. This is a guy that hit 299 last year and 282 the year before. He was one of the best catchers in baseball, at least hitting wise. It was incredibly dependable, but he played in 148 games last year. So did he hit a wall? I mean, he didn't catch in all those, but he played a lot. And he's 2 for 33. And this is an Astros team that's still a 500 team, but part of the reason their offense has struggled is because one of the guys that they really counted on, he's just been completely lost at the plate.
Yeah.
Yes, that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. All right. So I'm going Cody Bellinger. It was a really tough week for Belly. Remember when he was like an MVP, perennial like MVP candidate?
2017, right?
Yeah.
Was it 17 or 19 where he was going like toe to toe? It was like Belly Yelly. It was Bellinger and Christian Yelich. I think it was 19, but he kind of burst on in 17 with the Dodgers when they went to the World Series for the first time in a while. So
always looks like he's high. It's hilarious.
Always is high, probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, I'm not against it. Not against the guy. Maybe he's sparking up a little bit before the game, but Cody Bellinger, maybe he needs to change his routine a little bit because 3 for 27, 10 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. So good for him. But 3 walks, ribby, 111 total average, 194 on base percentage, 111 slugging. Not good week for Belly. And especially, I mean, listen, everyone's celebrating because it's the Yankees too. I don't like to celebrate or revel in anyone's truly, because I think, I don't know if you saw this, but we did see the Jaron Duran story, him talking about his struggles a few years ago and his attempted suicide attempt.
I didn't know about this.
You didn't know about this? Okay.
No.
So there's a new documentary coming out called Clubhouse on Netflix about the Red Sox last year. And Duran really opened up about his struggles with mental health. And he's told a story about one day it was particularly bad. And he went, he grabbed his shotgun, he went into his closet and pulled the trigger and the gun didn't go off. Hell, yeah, crazy. So I'm sure, I hope I will never experience anything like that.
People don't know Deion Sanders had a suicide attempt in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was in like the height of his fame, really, I think it was in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And we don't obviously wish anything bad on them as people. I mean,
but he's a Yankee. Don't forget about that. He's a Yankee, and we're not really we're not rooting for him. But I think that's the one thing that really media hasn't gotten right. Is
it's like you want to root against players who come off as jerks or even as dirty players. You still don't want anything bad to happen. You do have players who have done bad things in their life, who've done very bad things or who maybe have had domestic abuse or I still don't want to say like I wish bad, but you wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, I hope he has a great life
for this guy.
I don't know. I don't want to like drop names and start sounding bitter, but there's players obviously who have maybe not been the best people. Maybe they've found the error of their ways. But when you start thinking about like, oh, I hate this guy, but I hate him because he's good. Like I'm sick of Ohtani. Ohtani's a great guy. He seems like it. Who knows? Maybe he's not.
Yeah.
Maybe he did gamble. But, I want him to fail. I want him to hit like 210 every year.
Yeah.
But I don't want anything bad to happen in his real life.
I think that's
lose a few million in the stock market. I wouldn't be upset.
And especially as I've kind of been really getting back into baseball, listening to 98.5, the WFAN in Boston. They're just horrible to the players, and they really create like a toxic, and that's where a lot of media kind of comes in, where they create this toxic environment for a lot of people where they don't have the ability to separate anymore. That, hey, these are just human beings out here, just like you and me. They make mistakes. Like I think there was either a tech or a flagrant on a guy on a player on the Gators. I think Martin on Monday night, because he spiked the ball in frustration after the foul.
Right.
And we're sitting there and like, we're frustrated, but it's like, this is a 20, 21, 22-year-old kid. How many 21 and 22-year-olds have done a lot worse in their life?
Exactly.
And you see these people just saying, you're such an idiot. These people are so stupid. And it's like, calm down. These people are human beings. Have a little bit of compassion for them. So I think that is just the Jaron Duran thing is it's a reminder to a lot of people that, hey, this is just sports, man. And even when we talk, I try and keep myself in check. And sometimes I get a little too over the top.
Sure.
And I always try and keep myself in check to say, hey, like it's, it's just sports, man. It's these are all human beings that can just do really cool things physically. But it's like you and me, maybe we can't throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball down the pipe. It's a little different, but everyone's just the same, and we build them up to be these big figures, but they're not. And
Exactly.
that's my rant on that. And obviously, like I don't want to tear someone down as a human being. But Cody Bellinger, bad week, man.
Yeah.
Really bad week. Not a good week. And then real quick, who is your surprise player?
Surprise player of the week. Ooh.
I can go if you want. I have my guy.
You go. You start.
Yeah. We have a Toronto Blue Jay, Easton Lucas. 10.1 innings pitched in the last 7 days. 11 strikeouts, 2 Ws, which Ws don't really matter for pitchers, but .68 WHIP. He's been feeling himself lately. 4 hits, 3 walks, and 2 starts. So pretty damn good. And I think fantasy wise, he's rostered on 4% of rosters. So good to see the young kid.
Yeah, he pitched well. I do have mine, and this guy's been a surprise not just this past week, but all year. And you talk about a team that you have no reason to watch, but how about Tyler Soderstrom? 6 home runs.
Damn.
1197 OPS. He's behind only Aaron Judge in OPS right now. Well, no, I take that back. He's George Springer actually has top OPS. I forget how early in the season it is that some of these absurd numbers, but he's tied for the major league lead with 6 home runs. Funny thing is, Judge has 6 homers and 20 RBI. Soderstrom has 6 homers and 10 RBI. So it's a little different, but both players are 17 for 48. And and this kid has really been something for the A's because look, he's only 23 and he's had himself a really nice season so far. And look, the A's are going to do anything, or at least try to sniff 500. They're going to need guys to step up and have a year like that. Last year we saw some great things from Brent Rooker, and you saw flashes from Lawrence Butler. And this year, this Soderstrom, look, he's not going to hit 350, I don't think.
Hey, you never know.
You never know. And if he could be they're playing in a minor league park, and if he can be a force in the middle of that lineup, Oakland can, or I want to say Oakland. I'm calling them.
It's Oakland. It's Oakland.
Oakland.
Calling it
the Sac A's can be at least a team that, I always say, like, if you look at every division race, maybe there's 2 or 3 teams that always have a chance to win a division. And then the equalizer, or not the equalizer, but the determining factor is, how do those teams play against kind of the bottom feeders? It's like in the NL West, you have 4 teams that maybe think they can win the division. They all have to play well against the Rockies. And then the A's are probably not going to contend for the division. So they're going to be that team that, who do they screw up more? Do they screw up the Astros or the Rangers, let's say? And which team plays better against the A's, that may determine who wins the division. So, the A's are, as you like to say, they're kind of feisty, and they're
going to be a fun team. I think they're definitely going to be a fun team. They might not make the playoffs, or maybe they will sneak in and kind of grab that 7th seed.
Field now, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a shot. But yeah, for Soderstrom, he only hit 233 in 61 games last year, but he's had a heck of a start to the season. 6 guy only had 9 homers in 61 games. He's got 6 in 13 games this year. So tip of the cap.
I will say, if I have to watch playoff baseball from
in Sacramento,
I'll be disgusted. That'll be disgusting.
I was just looking up this town. It looks like he's from northern-ish California. So always nice when like a hometown or home state kid. Of course,
he leads the league in WAR right now.
Well, yeah, because whoever replaces him on the A's is probably going to be a minor leaguer.
Yeah. Well, eventually he'll be traded, at the deadline. We all know that.
Future Dodger, right? Was it yeah.
Yeah. Let's look ahead. We'll go real quick through the series and then we'll get out of here. Oh, Vladdy also, of course. 14 years, 500 mil from the Blue Jays. While I pull up
home runs, right?
Hasn't homered yet. He has not homered yet. Let me look at that real quick.
Unless something's happened tonight, we haven't been following.
No homers from him tonight, so definitely not. Crazy contract. Do you think it was? I think if the Blue Jays had to sign someone, right? They had to lock down one person because they've missed on a lot of big free agents. And if you miss on Vladdy, your hometown guy with Canadian ties from his dad, I mean, you're a joke of an organization, right? Like
I don't
they're already
blame
kind of are.
Yeah, and I don't blame the Jays for whiffing on, the Canadian, the Japanese superstars who don't want to go there. That's not their
Yeah.
fault. They were willing to pony up the money, and I think, look, they shelled out, like I said, big money for George Springer. They couldn't, or they didn't keep Teoscar Hernandez. They had to check because they had Hernandez on their team, and was it 21 or 22? I can't remember. So I think that was a good, I think that was a good move for the Jays. Honestly, I don't have a problem. I mean, the money is just so absurd now, wherever you look. So,
Oh yeah. Let's see. Where did Teoscar Hernandez? 2017 to 2022. Oh, he's there a while. He's a Blue Jay. If he goes into the Hall of Fame, he probably goes in as a Blue Jay.
he was actually got a ring with the Astros. Believe it or not, he was traded midseason 2017. So,
oh yeah.
He
probably. You think he even like touches it? You think he even cares? I've always wondered about that with guys like that, where they maybe get traded, middle of the year. Do they really care? Or are they like, oh, I have this thing, it's cool, but like I didn't. I wasn't.
I mean, did Ahmed Rosario go to the White House because he's playing for the Nats and they're 10 minutes from the White House, and he was on the Dodgers for 2 games last year and got a ring? I mean, I don't know. I mean, but if it's like, I guess Hernandez has another one now, but if it was the only one you ever get, I mean, I think that might be cool. But yeah, I mean, Nomar is like the classic. Nomar Garcia Parra is the classic break traded, and he was like Mr. Red Sox in the middle of 2004. He gets traded and they break the curse. So
that's one thing that's not really mentioned a lot, I think, unless you're a Red Sox, like a Red Sox fan who knows that. That's not really mentioned a lot, that Nomar was on that 2004 team. I actually have the yearbook from 2004, and Nomar's on there. And I'll have buddies that come over and they're like, "Oh, why is he on there?" And I'm like, "Well, he was on the team. He was there, and they traded him, and I think it ended up working out pretty well." But all right, let's go to the weekend. We got Royals Guardians starting out on Friday night. Give me something on this game or on this series.
Guardians got to get it going. That after last year, I mean, they were the team. They ran that division. They got to start scoring some runs. It's a bigger series for the Guardians. They've looked kind of sloppy, and they've only played 1 game at home though, so they need to get it going.
Yeah. Pirates and Reds live on Apple TV. The worst of all of the broadcast networks.
Bottom feeders, but the Reds almost swept the Giants. It's going to take them a little time. I think they're going to play well for Terry Francona. If they are, this is a series they got to win. They got to beat Pittsburgh.
I feel like the Reds, and this is a little bit off topic, but I think the Reds are the most baseball of baseball teams. You know what I mean? Like they have like the most baseball vibe to me. Like they're red and white. The baseball is red and white. Everything is kind of a baseball logo there versus, like you look at the Blue Jays, it's a bird and they just happen to play baseball. Like the Reds, I think their vibe is one of the most baseball vibes you can have. Like it's classic to me. I think it's more classic. Maybe it's because they are the original team, one of the original teams. That could be why, but who knows? Jays and Orioles. This is kind of a big series. You got the tied for first Blue Jays, or are they first place Blue Jays? Tied for first Blue Jays.
They haven't done it yet today. I would hope this series would be a regression to the mean for the Blue Jays, and law of averages would say the Orioles have to win. That's all I got.
Yeah. Braves and Rays in Tampa. Steinbrenner, Tampa.
Braves and Rays in Tampa. Ooh, well, boy, the Braves.
They got to get it going.
A chance for the Rays to bury the Braves a little bit deeper.
And it's a chance for the Braves to claw back and at least, get one more series closer to 500.
They're 0-7 on the road. Braves.
Yeah. Giants, Yankees. In New York, it's a homecoming for the Giants. I guess.
The Giants have been, really. You said before the season, I didn't believe it. 2021 vibes. You start to believe more when they beat good teams. If they go into Yankee Stadium, Devin Williams, by the way, really struggling. Didn't make it through his 9th inning today. Mark Leiter had to get the save. Let's see how the Yankees bullpen, if they can bounce back against San Francisco, because San Francisco's been really good this year in the late innings.
Yeah. Nats, Marlins.
Not much. No.
Hey, 500 Marlins. Good for them. That's awesome.
Yeah. Nats playing better. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. So
yeah. Angels, Astros. All I can say, Kenley Jansen.
Angels are 7-3, and the Astros. I said the Astros were 500 because I saw they were winning 6-4. Apparently, they lost, so they're 5-7. So the Angels, I don't know. I knew the Angels improved their team. I just didn't know how much. Guess we'll find out this weekend.
When was the last time we saw a record disparity like this between the Angels and the Astros, where the Angels were on the positive side of it?
Pre-cheating Astros.
Oh yeah, easy. It's been at least 8-9 years since we've seen that, almost a full decade. I do want to look back at those other seasons. Maybe we can get to the full decade. Twins and Tigers. Again, this is a kind of a test for the Twins. Maybe get back on track a little bit too.
Yeah, Tigers 7-2 in their last 9. Tigers know they need to win their division games. The Twins, Twins need to embrace a full rebuild. They just need to just commit to it already. It's like enough.
Yeah. Red Sox, White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field. It's the sock battle.
Never forget in 2018 when the Red Sox went 3-4 on the season against the terrible White Sox and lost 2 out of 3 at home. So it was like, and this was when the White Sox were also really bad.
Struggled last year against them too. Yeah. I think we naturally just kind of struggle against them.
Yes. The other Sox being the White Sox, but they've been better in that series. So yeah, Red Sox can't afford to lose this.
Phillies, Cardinals. This is one of those, I don't know, I always kind of equate each other. There you go. Oh, Rafael Devers ground will double down the right field line. Let's go. Yeah, you got Aaron Nola and Palante going on Friday night, but I think this is kind of a big series. Phillies, you want to keep it rolling, and the Cardinals, you hope to at least pick up one game, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Cardinals. I mean, they're such a mediocre team.
Yeah,
they really are.
Nothing exciting.
No, and the Phillies are a good team.
Yeah. Rockies, Padres. Wow.
So you mentioned the White Sox giving the Red Sox a hard time. If I'm not mistaken, the Rockies had a winning record against the Padres last year. I know they swept them. The Padres beat the Dodgers in a series last year, then hosted the Rockies and got swept. They really struggled with Colorado last year. Yeah. Cannot explain that. If that happens again, and this is exactly to my point, if they play better against the Rockies last year, the Padres, maybe they win the division because they only finished, I don't remember what the final number, maybe it was 4 or 5 games behind, whatever. But Padres have to have that in their minds. Like, not this year. Not this year.
I'm looking up the division right now. No, not 25. Give me 24. This could be the time where we point to, like, the Rockies hit their stride. When this could be the only time they hit a stride, or if we see some miraculous World Series run. LA or San Diego is 5 games back of LA by the end of the year. So that,
but again, that they weren't, I don't know. Well, the Dodgers swept the Rockies at the end, so it may not have mattered. But point being is, who knows? I mean, they were 5-8, but what if they had gone 10-3 like they were supposed to? The Padres would have won the division.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Mariners, Rangers. I think a good opportunity.
Mariners
for the
are Bruce Bochy every other year. Rangers playing pretty well. Mariners are not. The Mariners are the Pacific Northwest Twins. That's all. They just are. They just embrace the rebuild, tear it down, stop trying to be cute and win 86 games and hope you'll get in and make some miracle run.
Brewers, D-backs.
Corbin Burns, is he pitching in that series? That's all I want to know. I want to see him face the Brewers.
Let's see. We do have Corbin Burns, 8-10 Saturday night.
Okay, there you go.
Royals, Guardians.
Oh, we covered that one.
Oh, we did. Oh, shoot. It went all the way back to the top. Damn it. Mets, Athletics.
Oof. I don't know. Doesn't it just seem like that'd be a series that the Mets would lose and the fans would start fretting?
Yeah, it's in the sack. It's in the sack as well. Mets in the sack. Well, I mean, did I lose you? There you go. Juan Soto having to play in a minor league ballpark. That's like, it's not right? Like, it's like the rich guy having to go and stay in a regular apartment like I'm living in right now. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? And then Cubs, Dodgers. Their first meeting since Tokyo. Yamamoto goes Friday night. But
Yeah,
this is
too
a big
bad
series.
Imanaga doesn't pitch. I know Japanese media would love if he went head to head, but they'll miss Shota in that series. That'll be a good series. I mean, look, the Cubs got a nice test, but they're back on the mainland. They're playing pretty good ball. I think the Cubs could be I think they have a good shot, as good a shot as anyone to win the NL Central. So they need to see if they can, match up with the Dodgers. By the way, I didn't like that they were the home team in both games. So they lose an extra home game. Whereas last year they switched them with the Dodgers, and the Cubs only get 2 against the Dodgers at Wrigley when they play them, which is like next week. It's that stupid thing where like the teams play like twice in 2 or 3 weeks, and then that's it for the whole season. But yeah, I want to see how the Cubs respond. This is obviously every team, as Mookie Betts has said, it's their World Series or whatever. But this is the time to catch the Dodgers. Although Freddie Freeman's coming back Friday night, so maybe it's not the time to catch him. But it'll be a good series. Chicago, LA, big cities.
Yeah, get ready. It's a good weekend of baseball. It's another good weekend of baseball. That's going to be a good place to wrap it up, though. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Spring Hill Sports. I think they're recording tonight, as I have been communicated with. But again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out Draft America, and we will see you next week.